Hi guys, hope all is well. I've been on vacation for about a week so far. School starts next week, so this is my last week of basically not having school for a little while. So until about December, where we will then go on elective. I've been working. I actually finished my weekend duties, well, last night at 8. It's been quite busy. It wasn't as busy as it usually is, or maybe it's just that I've adapted a little bit better to working in accident and emergency. Not Remember, I wasn't in hospital practice for quite some time, so it's a bit of an adjustment. But it took me maybe about 2 weeks to really adjust to the lifestyle again, to being working in the hospital. So yeah, last night wasn't so bad, and the night before wasn't so bad, but you still get that fatigue for work. You're working 12 hours straight, so you just feel a bit tired. Today I'm going to run a few errands. The real reason of this, I'm actually posting this video is so something kind of interesting happened where a medical student that was working in the department ended up telling me that his mom is a dentist, and she's a dentist who graduated from an international medical school, and then she migrated to the United States and was able to work. So I literally was like so excited because I thought it was a sign to tell me, well, um, let's find out if there's a way that I don't have to go back to school to do, to work in dentistry in the United States. So it just so happened the medical student and myself, we were cool. So he was like, okay, yes, my mom would love to talk to you about it. And then ended up exchanging numbers. He told his mom I'm going to call, and at the end of my shift, we ended up having a conversation. I ended up calling. Well, his mom said call me at 8, and she ended up actually calling me, and we spoke. So we spoke, and she told me that literally the same thought process that she had was the same thought process that I have right now, which was I was hoping to find a program in the United States that allowed me to forego doing those 2 years in dentistry and two years in the advanced standing programs in dentistry in the United States, and therefore I would just be able to do exams, show my competence, and be able to work in the United States. So she was like, no. She told me straight off. She couldn't find one, and the truth of the matter is, no matter what you do, you have to go back to school and do those 2 years. So those 2 years are compulsory. So I've been looking at a lot of universities, Ohio State, LLU, Boston. Uh, I also looked at one in Puerto Rico, and I'm trying to find if they're okay. So I mean, even if you said that you have to go back to school for those 2 years. I was trying to find a program that was at least kind of affordable, because most of them, and I'm not even exaggerating, even the one in Puerto Rico, which is Spanish speaking for 1 year and then English speaking for another year, and it's in Puerto Rico as opposed to being on the United States mainland, even though Puerto Rico is, a colony, or a colony in the United States. So I researched and I researched, and literally the cost is pretty much the same across the board. And even though the cost is so high, what was shocking is that most persons were saying that it's competitive to get in because they don't take many persons into these programs. What I did notice is that certain universities had higher GPA's requirements to get into the program. So, for instance, the one in Puerto Rico had a GPA of 2.0 to 2.5, while most universities like Penn State and Ohio and Texas and most of them had university GPA requirements to go into the actual program for the 2 year program was like 3.0 up to 3.5. So that in itself just shows you that even if you do the ND, the National Board Dental Examination, and even if you do you apply to get into these programs, and even if you have the money, if your GPA isn't correct, I was told that you can actually have to go back to school for the 4 years. So it was a bit of a disappointment, but at the same time, I view it as a necessary evil. In other words, if you have to do it and you have the money to do it, you should do it. And that's just my opinion. And I think the benefits outweigh the disadvantages. The disadvantages, clearly financial burden. You know, you have to go back to school for 2 years. There's that big stress of having to study again. You know, it delays you for 2 years. Afterwards, you have to then come out and fight to get into a program that you want to get into. There are a lot of things that are working against you. But look at it from the positive side. Doctors in the United States are some of the highest paid, highest sued, but some of the highest paid in the world. So if you do a 2-year program for dentistry, and then afterwards you come out and you try to get into a program, for instance, but most times like orthodontics, endodontics, periodontics, apparently you have to pay them. The only one that's hospital based that you receive a stipend that I saw so far is oral surgery or oral maxillofacial surgery. So chances are when you come out of the program, you probably, if you don't have the money, because I mean you would have already been in $140,000 debt for this program to do the advanced standing program. So when you come out now, you actually then have to now try to work, pay that off, and then save again to go back to school to do orthodontics, endodontics, periodontics, pedodontics, or oral, well, not oral, but oral maxillofacial surgery, but the other ones. So it delays you even further. But can you imagine being an orthodontist or periodontist or an oral surgeon in the United States? I mean, your life is a lot better, and that's just a fact. They do a lot better than the average Joe in the Caribbean, but at the same time, there's a long route to get into that point. So I can't give you, if you're a person watching this right now and you have the money to do it, you should. I really advise, like, if I had the money to do it, I would. And that's just it. I would do the NDBE, National Board, the NBDE right now. I'll do part 1, finish the into school, finish do part 2. Then afterwards, when I do part 2, I'd apply to as many colleges as possible and try to get into the highest ranked one, maybe Cornell or something like that, and move from there. But to be honest, after this dental degree, I'm not certain I will be able to afford an advanced standing program. $140,000 is a lot of money. US, by the way, this is US dollars. It's a lot of money, and a lot of uncertainty as well too. And then that's not even, that 140,000 is not even including the exams you have to sit. And some programs even say that even though you do the program, the advanced standing program, that you might not even be, you're not automatically eligible for state licensure examination. Yes, the exam for the state. So that kind of is discouraging. But even though it's a small chance, I have to say the benefits outweigh the disadvantages. I said it before and I'll say it again. So because I heard that, I said, okay, let me research some things about Canada. So to see how it would be to get into Canada. Some of the advanced standing programs in Canada actually don't even take non-nationals. So the advanced standing programs in the United States actually allow those that are graduates outside of who did not graduate from a Canadian or American dental program to apply. But the Canadian ones, some of them, not all, but some of them don't allow non-Canadian citizens or non-Canadian residents to apply. So I just kind of shut that down one time, but I'm pretty certain there are programs that allow, because I actually saw a YouTube video where there's a company in Canada that allows them to, that prepares you for these programs to get into to practice as a dentist in the into Canada. Sorry. So yeah. My search has finally come to an end where the conclusion definitely is 2 years of dental school, 2 to 4 years, because depending on with how you scored in the National Board Dental Examination, they may end up sending you back to for 4 years. So your best bet is to excel in dental school, get very high scores in National Board Dental Examination. If you can, save, and if you can, migrate. Oh, I forgot to mention one thing too. I saw from the New York University, there's a program that actually accepts the MFDS1 for, and it's in association with the Royal College of Surgeons Ireland, and it allows you to do some an oral maxillofacial program. It's a kind of it's not the same thing as a oral maxillofacial residency program, but it's a 3-year program. Don't know if you're paid, but it seems as though it's some qualification that they're trying to do in conjunction with the Royal College of Surgeons Ireland. So you can research that as well too, but I'm not really too interested in that, as I'm not certain if when I come out of that program I'll be an oral maxillofacial surgeon. That kind of just, yeah. So guys, school starts next week. I'll try to do a few more rapid fire series on MRCS things to remember. Probably see these books back here, which should be like the U.S.A. Step 2 CS. I have another first aid USSMLE Step 2 CK. And it's not that I skipped Step 1 and I'm going to study for Step 2 or whatever right now. It's that I've noticed when I've been accidental emergency, some things I don't remember from when I was in the hospital setting. Because accidental emergency, essentially you have to be a general doctor and a gynae, a pediatrician, and a surgeon. So the surgical and the gynae part, I don't really have too much of a problem with. Peds, not so much. But you see, there are certain things that you have to remember from medicine that I, like the rare stuff, I'm not really, not the rare, but the uncommon stuff, you don't really see it too much in general practice, which is what I was working in before. So some of the stuff I have to try to just review, and some rapid fire things I'm trying to get at my fingertips so that I'm able to function a bit more effectively, even though right now I still do fairly decent, not perfect but decent. But I don't want to miss anything once I'm working in the hospital. I don't want to miss anything. So all the pertinent investigations I want to be able to know right off my fingertips. So that's why you see me reviewing this book and reviewing the Step 2 CK. That's pretty much it right now, and I'm just reading, and it's a bit, I know it's going to get more challenging once I start school next week. So yeah, keep posted guys. I love the comments, I love the support. If you like this video, just press subscribe down below, and you can press the little bell shape so you can get notifications when I'm actually posting my new videos. So I'm actually going on the road right now, so I'll hear you guys later, okay?